All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian Kelvin here, and for the first time on the O&G Strike Zone, it's a pleasure to have on our head ball coach of our men's basketball program, Coach Charlie Ward. Coach, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I'm hanging in there. lot going on, but enjoying life.
Amen. I got to ask, Coach, are you sneaking peeks in on this Knicks Boston series? I know as a former Knicks, I just got to imagine you got a TV on somewhere in that room that you're in. You may be sneaking peeks at this series. Any?
Well, actually, just came back from a Tallahassee Reckoning soccer match with my wife and daughter, and I was watching, or was sneaking a peek. What the score was at the time. It was 59-59. So not sure what the score is now, but hopefully we can finish it off tonight.
All right. I grew up a Pacer fan, Coach. So I'm gonna just say I'm looking forward to that old Pacers Knicks in the playoffs. It's a special, it's a special series. So I'm looking forward to seeing that series. Yeah. So all right, Coach. So 2 to 3 weeks or so, a month or so on the job as the head coach of the Florida A&M men's basketball program. What's been the sort of the reaction? What's it been like now this past month as you've been moving amongst various circles as now you have that new title following your name?
Well, we've been fast paced ahead, working to get the coaches onboarded, which is lifeblood for us right now. But we've been blessed to be able to have two guys sign so far. AJ Bolden and Devere Palmer, two uh, very good basketball players from good families. Actually, Devere's from New York, so that's part of a great blessing because I was there for some time. And also, Anquan Bolden, his son, of course, he's a Seminole legend. So grateful to be able to have him on board as well. And so, we've just been working, recruiting. Actually, heading out this weekend to Atlanta for a JUCO showcase to try to see how we can continue to put together a roster. And then, check in on a couple of guys that will be coming back next year, Caleb Washington and um, Tyler Shirley.
Okay.
And so just, pushing forward to try to finalize the roster along with all the other things that you need to fundraising and a lot of meetings trying to put together, solid collaboration projects, collectives, and all those different types of things, just so we can have a chance to be successful on the floor. And so, a lot of business meetings. Trying to tie that end up so that we can, be in the midst of getting the necessary support for the program, along with, putting our guys in good opportunities to be in the community and be the face of our program along with whatever businesses they're affiliated with. So and then on top of that, we're working to get summer school and summer plans ready for the guys. Summer B is our target, and so we're working right now to try to put a good plan in place. Because once we get here, we're going to have to hit the ground running.
No doubt, no doubt. It's a lot of moving parts. It's funny as I hear you talk about all of those things, Coach. I remember there was something that I recall you saying in your introductory press conference that the program that you were just a part of at Florida High, you structured that in a way that it was running like a college program. And so now here you are at a college program. Did that experience uh, help you as you're in this phase of the things you're doing, or maybe are there some things that you're navigating through which you're learning and say, okay, this is new, this is different? Can you kind of give us a little background of what the transition of that organization has been like, that structure has been like for you?
Yeah. When I was looking to put together a staff, one of the key components was finding coaches that had been in the college ranks, and that had a lot of college experience. I hadn't done college. I've been a professional, coach, and I went straight from that field to high school, and so I've skipped that part, and so I surrounded myself with good college coaches, and then the high school portion, been able to surround myself with a good high school coach as well, and so things that I don't know, they answer for me, which is that's what a team is about. I'm not there because I know everything, and I'm not ashamed to say that I don't know everything. And so that's why I put my team together the way I did. And some of the foundational things, I'll, as you talked about my high school program, we did a lot of things because we had guys we were prepping to go to college. And so one of the things I've learned is they were like, Coach, I wish I would listen to you a little bit more, about the strength and conditioning piece, because we had a strength and conditioning coach while I was there. We had an academic coach as well to help them with study hall and make sure the grades were on point. And then just taking them out of town on trips, preparing them for traveling and then playing and the bonding and all the different types of things, team community outreach, um, all those things are part of what I learned over my career as an athlete in college, and in my professional career. And so just putting all those pieces together for them, and it was we only did it at a foundational level because we didn't have all the resources that a lot of colleges have, but we gave them a foundation of what it's going to look like with structure. And so we practiced. We had times where we practiced during the summer, where they had to come and work out, 4 days a week. So giving them just that structure of what it takes to be committed and be the best that they can be. And that's all things that in college, yeah, that's what you want guys to be held accountable for getting better. And the only way you can do that is if you're in the gym or you're putting in the time
Yeah.
to do those necessary things to get better. And I always told my guys that we if you only play one sport, you can't come back the same way, same skill level
True.
as you did it the year before, because you have to get better. If you're only playing one sport. Now, if you're playing multiple sports, it's understandable to be at a certain level, skill wise, but that still doesn't mean that you can't make an impact. And so that's one of the things we're going to be harping on is guys just coming back different. And not just basketball wise, but academically. Putting themselves in the best situation as well. Whether it's summer school, whether it's study hall, whatever it may be. Taking ownership of that themselves and continue to grow and develop in all areas of your life.
Nice. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Welcome to the show, Coach. And what
I,
I want to ask about your decision to accept the FAMU job, because I heard you mention that you weren't really looking to go to college and coach college at first, and this opportunity came about. So what was it about this particular opportunity at this particular time that was appealing to you to want to make the jump to college?
Yeah, so I mean all things in life, prepares you for something. Sometimes we don't know what that something is, But I've been actually coaching the last year or year and a half, 2 years with the junior national team for USA basketball, and that was a lot of high level talent there that I was and you know was had opportunity to be able to coach, and some high quality coaches that I was able to glean from as well. And so being at the Nike Hoop Summit, was a great blessing. And this really came down to my wife being open to me moving in a different arena, because I was really dead set on finishing at FSUS for one more year, and then transition into the project that we're doing as a family foundation, the Champions Ranch. And so that was my plan, my goal. But when my wife texted me and said, AD Suggs is going to be giving you a call, be open minded. And then I saw her, AD Suggs, message about giving me a call. And after the meeting we had, I called in and I kind of put two and two together. And so it was really just one of those deals where, you know, God had prepared me for this opportunity. And I really wasn't looking for it, but He had prepared me, and it was, the opportunity was afforded to me, and it was really the only job that I could see myself taking, uh, because one, it was here in town. I wasn't planning on moving. I was here in Tallahassee, and two, FAMU has a big brand, and I know that all the programs that I've been taking over the past, since I've been coaching high school football and basketball, have all been programs that had great foundation, but needed a little bit of elevation. And so I saw this as an opportunity to be able to uh, do this, and take it to another level with resources that would be afforded to us, and be able to bring people on board as well to be able to help support us in that respect. And it's my mom and dad and my sister's alma mater. And so I grew up, as you heard, I grew up going to family football games. So it's just, it's funny because I was in my office during graduation, and I heard the alma mater, FAMU's alma mater. And I just remember my mom and dad after the games and football games and basketball games, standing singing the alma mater after the games. And so it kind of hit home that, I remember this song, and then the band always playing there's certain march songs. We used to have the albums playing on at the house when we were little kids, dance and the marching, like the marching 100 around the house. And so now I hear the songs, the songs again, and it's like deja vu. And so it's just, never thought that I'd be in this situation, but God knew what was next for me, and I'm just grateful that I have this opportunity.
Okay, and as a follow up, coach, I know you're putting together your staff and your roster, and so how's that going? And then two, while you building this program, ultimately, what do you want this team to look like? What kind of style of play? What kind of recruits you looking to bring in?
Well, our goal, like I said, when I was looking to put the staff together, I needed college coaches, and I was looking at high school, coach as well. And so, I've been blessed to be able to have at least, I'll say, one coach. He's on board. He's onboarded, so I can give his name. But Jared Lazarus, who was at FSU,
Yeah,
Ville, South Florida,
yeah.
and then he was at Middle Tennessee State as well. And so he's been in the game for some time, and I knew him over the years at FSU doing basketball camps, and also Coach Hamilton's, basically director of basketball ops.
Yeah.
And so he's my right hand man. And he's been a great blessing.
Yeah.
Just helping me put the team together. Just his work ethic, his loyalty, his commitment to, the guys that we're recruiting, and then his organization. I mean, the dude is just he's super organized, which helps me out because I'm more of an idea. I have some things down, I write some things down, but he organizes it all. So it's just a great match. And then we have have other coaches that will be on board as well. That's all mostly from the FSU tree in some form or fashion. And so, but they've been different places. Just so it's a evolving
Yeah.
deal. And as far as the roster is concerned, we're bringing back 5 players from the current roster. Um, Jordan Chapman being
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Caleb Washington and Ty Shirley, been Leonard Taylor, and then Jermaine Charles.
Good.
Uh, so those 5 guys are coming back, and then we'll be adding, a few more to round out the roster. But you know, people ask me about the style of play. Um, we play to the style of the players that we have. so
Yeah.
but one of the things that we I built over the years as far as the style of play and the mentality is, try to have as many guys on the floor that can uh, score the basketball, and function without the ball, and then having a couple guys that can create double teams, and so that other guys can be prepared and ready to play as well. And so we're not looking to have a 20-point score every night. If it happens, it happens, but that's not the goal. The goal is to be able to have a guy that can get you a bucket when you need it, whether it's on the perimeter or in the post. But try to find someone that can create double teams while having shooters around them, and then just playing the guy's strength. Playing great effort is something that we always want to, be our DNA. Defensively, be things that we're going to have to hang our hats on. So we'll work really hard on the defensive end to compete at a high level. Be tough minded. We'll practice that way. Like sometimes there won't be fouls called just because they may not call them in the game. So you got to be able to finish through contact, and we'll be organized to the point where it looks like we're practicing, and if not, then we'll get it corrected. But the goal is to be competitive.
Yeah.
We want to compete regardless of who we're playing. We want to be able to compete, and so that has to be something, and that's something that we're looking at now when we're bringing guys in. Are they on a winning program? Are they willing to compete, regardless of who they're playing against, whether it's Giants or Grasshoppers? So it doesn't matter, who it is. We got to get in there and prepare ourselves and compete at a high level. Of course, we got to execute in order for us to be successful. But those are the type of guys that we're looking to bring in, and then you have to be selfless. You know, understand your role, and don't be ashamed of your role, because if you're ashamed of your role, then you're not going to get the best out of yourself. And so I played all different types of roles, as you heard me say. I've been a superstar, I've been the backup, and I've been the guy on the bench. And so we always have to play our role, and we have to prepare for what we want. And I tell guys all the time, they want more shots. Well, are you preparing yourself to get more shots? Because you may be that guy that may get more shots, but right now you're not that guy. So when you get your opportunity, you have to make the most of it. And so just understanding where you are in your role, and but everyone has to be selfless and play as one unit for sure.
Awesome.
So yeah, I always love being able to learn something from you coaches. I just jotted that down, Kelvin. Do not be ashamed of your role. That's something I got to lean that. I always learn something when we have these interviews with our coaches. I got to take that down to my guys at the high school level. Hold on, I think Marcus Green is also in the building. Marcus, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Well, I'm glad to be here. Got in a little earlier this time.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you in there. You got a question for Coach? I'll let you get a question in here before I come with something else. You got a question for Coach?
I do. Good evening, Coach Ward. I'm glad for you to join us on the show. I'm glad to meet you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you too, Marcus.
My question, I guess with everything swirling around and you coming from the high school ranks into a college job, have you had a chance to get your feet settled around all the changes going on, not only being a new college coach, but also everything with the house settlement and NIL? And how does that, is it daunting as a first-time coach having to come into that?
Not really. There are some things, and like I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of people that know more than I know, so I lean on them a lot for information. And so sometimes it can be swirling, overwhelming, but that's part of the job. I think, especially whether it's first time or your old hat, there's a lot of things that come at you all the time. And so, my mentality is to lean on the people that that are there that understand it and know it, and also learn from them. And so, but I've been prepared for the moment. I've been on quite a few boards, colleges. I've been at the State Athletic Association. I coached professionally, coached in high school. And so I've had a lot of great experiences to understand and know, what leadership looks like, but always learning and growing in this role. But when it's all said and done, you have to take it one day at a time. And as I always say, what you don't get done today, you have to finish tomorrow. And you're have to be grateful that you have tomorrow to finish it. And so, whatever you can't get done one day, you have to try to do it the next day, and keep those days. I call them stacking days. And so that is something that we always talk about as a team. Is people say, well, you only have 45 minutes. Well, let's get 45 minutes of good work in. And so those 45 minutes, you keep adding them up, good work,
Yeah.
then, it turns into what you're looking for. And so you have to use the time that you have, and make the best of it. And so that's what I'm doing each and every day. We're starting to meet more. I still have coaches that aren't on board, so they're zooming in and all those types of things. So whatever it takes to make it happen, we're doing that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Hey, Coach, from a program perspective, as it relates to not only as you're building the roster and all the other surrounding elements, but the building of your non-conference schedule is always an interesting philosophy at the mid-major level,
Right.
which is where we're at now. What are some of the goals, or really what is your desire to be able to do with your non-conference schedule?
Well, this year we're going to work to try to take a different approach, um, where we're not playing as many of the bye games, um, as we've seen in the past. So I think we currently have five, I do believe, just secured USF today, and then we're working to stay within Florida, Georgia, Then we have one trip to Texas, and so we're playing USF, UCF,
Okay.
Georgia Tech, Georgia, uh, and TCU. Those are like the power four teams that we're playing. Then we have Tarleton State, um, Kennesaw State, and then we'll probably play team like UWF or Edward Waters. So we're still finalizing those games and JU. So twice playing JU twice, and then we're playing in MTE down in Orlando. I think we're playing Tuskegee, and then another HBCU from North Carolina. I'm not sure which one. So it's for us. We wanted to uh, play games that we felt we be competitive. I don't know. I don't know what our record is, but I want to at least feel like we can be competitive in the games, and we may shock some teams from the Power Four as well. That's our goal and our mindset. But one of the things we wanted to do was to try to stay as close as possible to our area, to where we didn't have to travel as far, so that we can, save a little bit on the budget, and also be able to do some different travel things in conference. Because to us, being able to travel in conference on a plane as opposed to a bus is very, very important.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And with that schedule, it sounds like it's first off, it sounds like a great schedule for people to be able to get to around, if we said the 4 hour radius of Tallahassee. But what about home games? Because, we have seen seasons where we have seen 0-1 home game. What's your thought, and what are we trying to do? What are you hoping to be able to do in terms of provide some home games in the non-conference so that folks can get a chance to get to know the players, get to see things before it gets hot and heavy in the conference season?
Yeah, that's a good point. We do have a few home games mixed into that schedule that I just talked about um, in the month of November and December. And so we'll there'll be a few home games. I'm not sure how many, but I do know the Kennesaw State game will be at home, and that's the second game of the year. So we did beat that record from the past. Where there were no home games to my knowledge, before November like 22nd or something. So I think we may have another home game mixed in there as well. Maybe two or three more home games mixed in there. So I know there'll be a exhibition game that will be at home.
Good.
So that'll be one thing that we're looking to do, because we understand we want to play home because it's new for us, and we want to get people excited about what we're doing, and we're also looking to potentially have a midnight madness as well. To Haven't talked to Coach Gordon yet, but uh, hopefully we can do something with the ladies, midnight madness, to be able to attract some more bigger crowd as well. Not sure. Maybe DJ Demps may want to do something with us. Just throwing that out there, DJ Demps. But it's we just want to create some excitement. We're going to be looking to build a great team, and then create some excitement around the season. We have hopefully we have some guys on the horizon that may raise the bar a little bit for us, coming from Power Four, um, conference, that's going to help us as well. So we're working to try to put a good product on the floor each and every night with some depth. That's very key for any team. Got to have depth, and so we're working to try to have competitive depth. You know that if something does happen with the starter, you know the guy that's coming in can pick up where that guy's left off, and so that's what we're looking to do right now is build that competitive depth. And we know that when you compete in practice, we heard the term iron sharpening iron. That's what we're looking to do with the roster as well.
Right. All right. Go ahead, Kelvin. Give you a chance to get in there.
Coach, I wonder if you had a chance to kind of get a feel or just look at the landscape of the SWAC basketball scene just in general. I know you got people like Coach Mo Williams who played in the league also, who's at JSU, and there's also a lot of former players who like doing GMs type things now, and that's a new thing that's happening on the scene. Are you looking to do any of that yourself?
Yes, we are. Uh, we're digging, trying to make something happen in a lot of areas. So with the GM piece, um, so that's something we're looking into right now. If we can get what we want, it would be a big splash for us. I'll just say that, um, and it would be a big hit for our team, our community, to be able to galvanize around. If we can get the GM that we want, which will be great for us. But just being able to partner with that guy that I'm talking about will be a big lift, which we've kind of partnered with him in some form of fashion already. So it will just be a big lift for us when it comes to that part. And then the SWAC is a competitive league with some great coaches. And I think everyone's goal is to win the SWAC. And once you win the SWAC, you get an opportunity to go to the NCAA tournament. And so that's our goal as well. So we're not going to, people like probably looking at, well, this is your first year. You come from high school, your high school coach. I mean, we got to coach. We got to make adjustments. We got to prepare. We got to put a game plan together. All those things. Regardless of what level you're at, if you're a quality coach, you have to put those things together.
Yep.
And over my career, I've had great coaches, and we've done great work, especially at the high school level, as far as basketball is concerned, uh, putting the guys in the right positions to be successful, and then learning from your mistakes. And so, regardless of which level you're at, those things are still the same. We're gonna win some games, we're gonna lose some games, but what do we learn from both scenarios is the key moving forward, and the work that we put in. And so we're gonna do work to do our part. We're trying to elevate our relationships on campus to be able to help support the things that we're trying to do, whether it's strength and conditioning, whether it's data analytics, health wise, nutrition, weight room, all those things we're trying to improve so that we can have a chance to be successful, on the court, off the court, academic support, business relationships. All those things are going to be important for us if we're going to move the needle towards what everybody say they want. And so we just want to be able to do our part and help build those relationships and help put our guys in the best situation to be successful.
All right.
Marcus, let you get the last question in with Coach. You're on mute.
Thank you. Thank you for that. What would you say? And I don't know if it was asked earlier, so I do apologize for being late. In terms of coaching inspiration, which coach has left the biggest imprint on you as far as your coaching style?
Man, I've had so many great coaches. Um, it's and I've I've taken something from all of them. Start with my dad. My dad was a father figure to his players, along with myself, and so I got a chance to grow up in that type of environment. He's very tough on them and me as well because he coached me. Um, and so I understood, what accountability looks like. Of course, he's old school. And so you had the old school principles, as you mentioned. I mean, he played for Jake Gaither, and so they were tough. They were tough minded, and they came to work because they were three deep at every position. And so if you didn't come to work, you were gonna be behind. So he learned discipline. He learned work ethic, and he taught that to us as well. And I had a coach, my high school football head coach. Was a Christian. He loved people. He didn't curse. And so I learned a lot from him. And then of course, Coach Bowden. His two words to me when I became a head coach was be fair and honest, and that's the way he lived his life. That's the way he coached. He allowed his coaches to coach in area, and he kind of oversaw them. And so that's something that I work to try to do is delegate to my coaches, give them areas of responsibilities because they one day they're going to move on to bigger things. I mean, I understand that, and that's what I want to put that give them those opportunities to be able to grow in the profession. And I had a quarterback coach, Coach Mark Rick. He was a family man, and his family used to come to practice, and got a chance to know him as a family man, along with being a great quality coach. And so that's something that I admired about him is, he was at work a lot, but he allowed his family to be around, and they wanted to be around. And so that's something that I admired about him. Um, I mean, I coached. I got coached by Pat Riley, Don Nelson,
Mm,
Jeff Van Gundy, Don Cheney,
wow.
Greg Popovich, and then I got a chance to work with Coach Jeff Van Gundy with the Houston Rockets, and all those guys, they minus Nelly. I'll just say that they prepares you really really well. They're very detail oriented, and they you felt going into a game that you were prepared to play. And then just the work ethic part, doing extra was a part of that whole regime as well. But the thing that I learned from Coach Nelson was he was a point forward type of guy, and so he always wanted to have a point forward, and that's something that if you follow my career, as a high school coach, being able to have a guy that can handle the basketball at that point forward position, uh, it gives you a great advantage because there are a lot of mismatches that you can exploit with small, big pick and rolls to be able to get to create those mismatches, those matchups that you look for. And so that's something I learned from him, along with being able to watch what's going on in the NBA today. And so and when I look back at that tree of coaches that I was influenced by, and also I forgot I learned a lot from Coach Pop because one of the things he did was he held the the best players at a high level. He held them accountable, and so being in those meetings, watching film, and him getting on Tony Parker and uh, Tim Duncan and Mono Ginobili, like they're rookies. Um, that was encouraging to see, and then them accepting the encouragement from him, and them changing. That was commendable as well because normally you may not see that. You may see the best players shutting down or going back at the coach, but that was just that relationship they had was commendable. So, those are things that I learned a lot from, and and I work to do, and I share with our guys, that I've coached. I'm like, I don't care. You are our best player, but I don't care if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. We're gonna encourage you. Like there's no rules bigger than anyone, and I tell them I'm included. Like the head coach is included in that deal. If I do something that's improper, I get relieved from my job, or I get reprimanded. And so I just let people know that we're here to help support, help everyone grow and be the best that they can be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Coach.
My
Great,
pleasure.
great question, Marcus. Hey, real quick from the chats, Coach, our friend of the program, Kenya says, she said, thank you for pulling Palmer from Jamaica, Queens. The Queens, New York Rattlers got your back, Coach.
Yes,
So,
we're gonna have to make a trip up there one of these days.
well, when you do that, I know Kenya Sykes will be there with the New York Rattlers. They will be there. They will be deep. I know they will.
Yes.
For sure. I guess last thing I want to leave you with, Coach. I'm going to echo what my guy EA said. What can the alumni and the fans do right now, or in the upcoming weeks, months, to support your program?
Well, we have depending upon where you are. I mean, we're going to be coming to some of the major cities, as I talked about, especially um, playing. We'll be in Dallas Fort Worth area. We're playing TCU, so I know we have a lot of Rattlers there.
Yep.
We'll be in Atlanta area twice, playing Georgia Tech in Georgia. And then we'll be in Orlando and Tampa. Uh, Orlando twice. Yeah, Orlando twice and Tampa once. And so being able to support at the games, but also being able to have opportunities for our Rattler alumni to speak with our players on where they are and how they can get to where they are, because they will be alumni one day as well, and we will have opportunities for collectives that we're going to be looking to do, and we'll be raising funds for projects that we're looking to do to help the player experience on campus. And so there are numerous ways to make that happen, along with, as someone mentioned, getting your season tickets. So that would be ideal on how we can support, because one of the things I always tell people is we're going to prepare to win. That's every day, every practice. We're going to prepare to win, and we hope that when we show up on game day, it looks that way. And so,
Yep.
but when it's all said and done, please, I know there'll be a lot of people, if we're not having success or when we're having success, all I ask is for people to encourage us, because we are working, we will be working hard to correct whatever mistakes we've made, and we'll also be working hard to correct or improve the things that we do well. And so one of the things I want us to be as Rattlers is understand and know that we're putting our best foot forward. Even the players are doing the same thing. And if you hear people talking about us negatively, please just ask them to pray for us, so
All right.
that we can do better. Instead of just putting our name out there in the streets like we're not working. But so I just want to ask people to encourage us in that
Yeah.
way. Pray for us if we're not doing well, and pray for us when we're doing well, and then show up regardless of how things are going, because we need the support one at all times.
Absolutely.
Oh, well said. Well said. My guy B Starks already said he got his season tickets, Coach. Season tickets
Yes,
already
I
booked.
see you. I see you there.
Exactly. I know Tamara T be getting her season tickets as well. There'll be a few other folks I know. And look, anything that we can do on our end, Coach.
Yeah.
We're gonna be. We sponsored a season ticket package last year. I know we'll try to do that again this year. And anytime that you have something you want to share with the show, feel free to, whether you tag us on X or whether you want to come on the show. You got an open forum right here, Coach. Anytime you want to talk to Rattler Nation, all you got to do is make the call and you're on.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on tonight, and welcome into the family.
Yes, indeed. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Can't wait to see how everything keeps moving, and we're looking forward to talking to you more down the road.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks for your time tonight, Coach. Be well.
All right.
Oh wow, awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Once again, our head ball coach, Coach Charlie Ward Jr. Good stuff. All right, so a couple takeaways. I was jotting notes. I saw Road Dogg asking a couple questions again. Look, we got a little breaking news in this one. Man, how about that? Coach dropped some nuggets on the schedule.
Yeah.
USF, UCF. So that's that Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa area, and then Georgia and Georgia Tech. So that's might be happening within probably a 2-day window. Probably you get somebody on a Thursday, somebody on a Saturday, or some combination like that maybe.
Yeah, and we went out to Tarleton last year, so I'm pretty sure Tarleton will probably be one of the home games. And he did mention JU twice, so that's probably a home and home. We play them down in Jacksonville. They play us here.
I think he said Kennesaw State possibly coming home.
Right. Well, he said definitely that they were going to be a home game.
I'm curious about that. He mentioned that HBCU event. I'm gonna have to do some digging on what that is. In Orlando.
Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some digging. I'm gonna have to find out what that is, and maybe we'll have to report next week with more details on what that event is, featuring Tuskegee, somebody from out of the North Carolina. I have to do some digging. I'm going to ask some questions. I have an answer maybe by next week.
I am so excited to hear the philosophy of the schedule. I have been advocating for this for the longest, man. Give the team an opportunity to be in front of their home crowd out of conference, build up some confidence playing teams that you definitely can be competitive with and win. Get some W's on the board and get the fan base, the students, the alumni excited. It's tough to get excited when you play you playing 10 power fours and you coming out of conference 1-9. It's just tough.
It is. And it's a change in the philosophy. Also, if you think about it, as far as budgeting, because we know why we've had to play those 8 or 9 power 4 or 5 teams. I mean, because you're trying to build your budget. Well, if you're getting money from other places, right? Okay, now we don't have to play 8. We can go play the 5.
Right.
And then, like you said, now you can mix in some other games, which open up the door for some home games, some mid-major matches that might be a little more competitive. But like I said, I know, Coach, we're going into every game trying to win.
Right.
But, we understand what it is. I mean, in some of those games. I'm interested to see that little tease Coach dropped about
GM.
The GM thing. Hey, in the chat room right now,
I have an idea.
Wrong answers only. Who do you all think Coach is going after to be the GM? Wrong answers only. And I saw someone mention Shaq. Let's just say Shaq is already committed to Sacramento State, where his old teammate Mike Bibby and now his son is. So we can cross Shaq off the list. So I don't know. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Very interesting. Consider what kind. Wait a minute. I think I got the hat on.
What you got on? What is that?
Yep, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, he said we already have a relationship with him, kind of, sort of.
I'm just telling you. I dream big.
Hey, look. Vince Carter. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I have little baby. I have no idea where that one just came from. That's
oh my gosh,
little baby, like Sean Kemp. Really? Where is he at these days? Okay. Hey, now that's an interesting one. might be a different James that you saw there. Yeah, now
LeBron.
Hey, unless LeBron is retiring this year, I might be kind of difficult. Can you be a GM at a college level and still be playing professionally? That's interesting.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'll send you this article. There's at least 2 or 3 current players who are young who are GMs.
Really?
Trey Young is the GM at Oklahoma.
Okay.
What's the other
I
guy?
did not know
Terrence,
that. Wow. Okay.
Terrence, I can't think of his name. He just graduated from Louisville a couple years ago.
Oh.
Terrence something. He plays for the Hawks as well. And I thought Steph Curry was being a GM for Davidson.
Wow.
So there's like 3 or 4 active players
Yep.
who are
See,
Terrence
learn something
Knight.
new.
Is it Terrence Knight that plays for the Hawks? He's doing it for
I know,
Louisville.
you're
So there's
that
like
man.
3 or 4 current players who are, I don't even call it
Okay.
volunteering. I don't know what you're
Current
calling it.
players being that's interesting. That's interesting. Well,
And if things come through, and I've been working on it and trying to get a commitment, but we may have the person I've been trying to get on who's non-FAMU related, but he's taking a role as a GM at a Power 4 conference. But
there you go.
love to
There's an
probe his
interesting
brain and have him give us some information
Hey,
if he's available.
I don't know. We can check the private chat.
I just saw that. See, little baby, you're just throwing names out now. You're just throwing names.
Okay.
See, Gerald said that's who you might be thinking of.
No. Yes.
Hey,
You're thinking of who? Allen Houston? You guys are just throwing out old Nick teammates of Charlie Ward's old teammates. That's what you guys are doing right now. I see what you guys are doing. You're just going through the roster and checking, just throwing names out. But I love it. I'm all for it.
Hey,
I'm all for it.
Kylan wins. Kylan wins.
I'm not putting that. I'm not putting that up there. Yes, Kylan wins. It's time to go to commercial. Kylan,
Yeah, we be getting a lot of recruits then.
Yeah, you're a fool. You're a fool.